fuckers, check it out. Kind of all fucking gourmet this time. What do you think? Orange spiced sweet potatoes with a really fucking gourmet presentation. You don't have to go all gourmet like I did, and really it was just for the presentation. And this isn't super easy, but it is super delicious. One of the cool things about buying butter in sticks is that it already gives you the measurements. 4 tablespoons of butter. Now, I don't know what you can use if you're going to try to veganize this, but at least it's vegetarian compliant. I try to have something for everybody. No unhappy fuckers in Granny Land. The second cool thing about having a stick of butter is you can take some of the paper off and you can butter your dish this way without getting that shit all over your fingers. Oh, and one way to check to see if your dish is completely covered, hold it up to the light. Now, I know some of you fuckers are going to write me back immediately and tell me that you can melt butter in the microwave. Fine, go ahead, do it. I like to do it this way. I like to put a little glass bowl in a little bit of water under a very low heat on the stove. It just is my way. Deal with it. Now is as good a time as any to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Yeah, that's fucking hot. So don't make this in the middle of July if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, or the middle of December if you live in Australia. Yes, I know there is more to the Southern Hemisphere than Australia, but that's the one that came to the top of my mind. Deal. I'm going to check the butter real quick, see how it's doing. Oh, look, it's melting so nicely. Another use for toothpicks is to stir this shit around without dirtying up a bunch of tools. You have to peel the sweet potatoes and then slice them into wedges. According to the recipe, wedges work best. I think you could probably do cubes as well. It's your choice, fuckers. It is one of those things, however, where size matters. No big ones and little ones mixed in together. Everything needs to be about the same size in order to cook evenly. It's about 2 pounds of sweet potatoes. Oh, just do your thing now. Set them aside in a bowl. The recipe called for sweet potatoes, and when I bought these at the grocery store, they look kind of white. They're not yams. Sweet potatoes and yams are 2 different things. I really don't care what the fuck you use. You can use turnips and rutabagas and whatever. Just deal, all right? Just let me make my shit and tell me if you like it. Oh, you see this flexible cutting board? I love my flexible cutting boards because then you can just scoop the shit right into the bowl without getting your hands all muckied up. You can buy it right down below in a link. And you really only need one unless they come in sets. Now here's something where you really need a good tool. This little cutie right here is called a zester, and you absolutely need one if you're going to do this right. I don't know what the fuck you're going to do if you don't have one of these tools. The next step in the recipe is to squeeze the juice into a container. I like this one here because it actually holds the juice for me while I squeeze. Oh yeah, I forgot about how once you zest an orange and you try to do anything with it, you're going to get that shit all over your hand. So the next move is to put a paper towel on top of it. Yeah, fuck yeah, I can get that handled. Next step in the recipe is to pour the juice into the zest. The recipe says 2 full oranges and the juice of 1.5 oranges and the zest of 1 whole orange. So there you go. I hope you're writing this shit down because I'm not going to put it in the description. You're grown-ups, you can do that. Oh, the pulp that's left behind in the juicer? You know where that shit goes. Yeah, I know. I do that all the time. Once you pour the juice into the bowl with a zest, we'll break that shit up because you don't want it all in one bite. Remember that we're supposed to slice 1/2 of the orange into pretty little slices? Yeah, isn't that cute? Look there, my butter is done. Oh boy. This part here is where this recipe really fucked with me. It calls for honey, and that stuff is like molasses. It doesn't spread well. It doesn't drip well. It doesn't do anything well. One of the tips in the recipe said to spray the spoon with cooking spray and it will fall right off. What do you think? Is that happening? I don't think so. And squeezing the container it came in? That's not for old hands. I should have thought about maybe heating it up first. I wonder if that would have worked. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Check. Done. 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and make sure that the top of the measuring spoon is smooth against the top of the container. Now, here's another one where I just had to make do, and this is how you learn to make do. I had pumpkin spice in the cupboard, but I didn't have nutmeg, so that's what I'm using. The butter dish has cooled off enough that I can take it out with my bare fingers and stir it around a little bit before I pour it in the bowl. Whisk that shit. Oh my gosh, this is so interesting. I thought everything would be all sticky icky with the honey and the juice and the butter, but it's like salad dressing. It must be that the orange juice cuts the sticky and cuts the butter and whatever. You know, this stuff is just whisking up so nice. And the fragrance, oh my, this is amazing. Now it's time to combine the potatoes and the sauce, and I'm gonna use my big ass bowl, only because it just makes things easier for me and I don't spill. After I've coated all the potatoes with that amazing mixture, I'm gonna transfer it to 2 different baking dishes because I wanna save some for home and I wanna take some for a party. Oh look, we'll lay these orange slices on the top. And again, the picture and the recipe called for puncturing the orange slices with cloves, whatever. I don't have any and I'm not gonna buy them just for this. So I have some cloves that I can sprinkle. That's it, guys. Time to stick this shit in the oven and sit back and wait for about 40 minutes. Check it at about 30. We're about 30 minutes right now and it's time to stir this shit around. Make sure that everything is still coated. Oh, you know what? I think that 400 degrees is just a little too hot. Or else maybe my pan is a little too thin. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna turn the oven down right now. Stick it with a fork, fuckers. It's done. Man, already the aroma has got me in a tizzy. Actually, I should take a bite right now because it just came out of the oven. I'm not generally a sweet potato fan, but this looked so fucking good in the picture that I had to. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, that's all I can tell you is just, I shouldn't be speaking with food in my mouth. You guys are gonna love this. Take the time to make it, okay? I think if I have this in front of me like this, I'll get through all of the things I have to say really quickly so I can take another bite. Be sure to follow on the Facebook and subscribe on the YouTube. And check out my Patreon where you can become a member of my digital family. And tiny sponsor, thank you so much for helping me with the editors. Oh, Twitter and the Instagrammy, do all that too. I hate to tell you gasm every time I make something, but so far I haven't failed. Except for that fucking green bean casserole. Ugh. Whew, I've come back to earth after that last bite. And I can't leave without telling you I love you. Granny loves you always.
People say I cuss too much, but I don't